موضوع في شغل.
Okay. Recorder started. See, yes, please, Mohammed, please go ahead.
Yeah, so as I told you, so he's the responsible for the technical issues, but me also, I wanted to get involved in this in order to like have more ideas, like get myself into the job. So
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. 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 No, I totally understand that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. I will start sharing my screen over here, and well, I hope you can see it. You can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. That's okay. Okay, I am in the our Dropbox folder, and then we are in the site planning simulation folder. The point is this one. Basically, when we start to the issue of designing emergency settlements, normally when we go into the field, what is happening? Let me click on this KMZ file. Are you all familiar with the KMZ file, these kind of files? Do you know what they are?
I'm not sure.
Okay, no worries, guys. Okay, no worries, guys, because I have to find a balance between our mechanical engineer and you guys, which are more involved in kind of management, different kind of topics. But the point is this one, whenever you go to the field, most of you are carrying with you your mobile phones, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and there are plenty of applications that in which you can record the tracks, where you're going, where you're moving. Even when you walk in a field, you can simply turn on this application and start recording your path within a certain camp. Then it's easily to download this KMZ file. It's just a matter to look for in Google Play Store or wherever you want, and find one of the best application. In my mobile phone, I have one which is called, and I will put it here in the chat, it's called GeoTracker. Let's see whether, okay, here we go. This is a very simple one. You can simply install it in your mobile phone. This is just to quote an example, and then you will learn this application very quickly. You see the interface, you have a red button on it, and when you want, you can start recording your position, and will start recording your position as your path. When you're moving around, you're creating a path, and it will be recorded. So when you have completed your record, you will have a file which can be exported, and you can actually, the file that you will export is a file that look like this one. The extension of the file is going to be KMZ. Okay, then what you need might be Google Earth. Do you know Google Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows Google Earth. In fact, when you have uploaded this file from your mobile phone to your computer, you have just simply to double click on the file and Google Earth will start, because this is the kind of software that Google Earth is using to work. Okay. I hope you can see my screen clearly. So I'm launching Google Earth, and Google Earth will go to pick exactly the path, the direction that you, it can be either when you go by car, it can be when you walk. Okay. And here we go. Do you see the red line?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, basically, so we have tried to find a piece of land which had some important elements all around. So let's assume that you were not able to go to the field, but one of your colleagues did go. And when he reached to this point, for example, with the car, because this is a road, he stopped here, he went off the car, and he started recording his path. Maybe he was with the local authorities, with someone from the village, and he was asking, can you tell me where is the border of the place where we can build our camp? So he simply start walking all around, you see, identifying the place. It's super easy. It's not rocket science. And then he go back to his car, which has been parked here in this junction. Simply has created an this KMZ file that you can immediately see in Google Earth.
I have a question. There are difference between this path and the path created directly from the Google Earth?
No, basically not. Because if I create a path, for example, with Google Earth over here, like this one, I'm sorry, the interface is in Italian, and
No,
but in English, basically the same. So I can tell to this guy, so you see, I could do another shape over here. In this case, I choose a path, not a polygon, and then I tell him save, and I give you the name, which is, we call it test 1, and then I have it here. Then if I do right click, I say save with name. You see that the extension is the same, KMZ. Okay, so if I put it, for example, here in documents, site planning training simulation, I create a folder and I created Google Earth. And then I save my file, which has been named taste1. Now I have it. I can close Google Earth. No, sorry guys, I have to go here to documents. Google Earth, I have it here. I double click on it. Okay. And then I'm back, and here I have my path. Can you see it?
Yes.
So it's very easy. But in this case, I also need to open our file, which is in a site planning simulation called emergency settlement. I double click it, and then I have it here. So I have both in this case. So this is important because when you go to the field, you can immediately check where you have been. And it's most importantly, you can check what there is around. Of course, you know because you have been to the field, but maybe you are not. I mean, maybe you went here with your car, but you didn't go here. You didn't have the chance to explore what's going on all around, which is a kind of important. Okay, let's start with some basic considerations. Just simply by looking at the map over here. Okay, this is a map from the very top, and I'm just simply using Google Earth. So what I can notice over here, that the field, the land that the local authorities has given us has a very different two sides. This one on the right side look quite rocky to me, full of stones, dry. Okay, while this one, it was or it is an agricultural field. You get the difference? So I might assume that, for example, the soil over here is pretty soft, while the soil over here is pretty compact. So this is already, for me, that I'm going to be the designer, an element to take in consideration, because probably the kind of infrastructure that I have to put here is different than the one to have to put here. Probably here, I will need a more sophisticated and complicated drainage system. Maybe here not, because the soil is more compact. You get my point. And then by exploring around, you see, I'm noticing that over here, there is a sort of cave. What is it? For sand? For gravel? Can we use part of this material to build up our emergency settlement? Maybe yes, and maybe not. So the next day, when you go back to the field for the assessment, you might ask, who is the owner of this site? Can we purchase gravel from this site? And this is more management aspect. Okay. Other elements that I might understand, that over here there might be trees with fruits, cultivation of fruits and vegetables, and maybe they're still operational. You see all around. Another element I might understand, that here in the middle there something that perhaps is a dumping site. Of course, the guy that physically went to the field, of course, he might have seen it because he was walking around here. You get the point. So he was telling, this is a dump site. So for me, that I am the site planner, I know that I have to isolate this area from my settlement. Otherwise, the dump site here can create a lot of troubles. And this is an issue for the site planner. But for who is in charge of the camp management, and I have to be sure that the behaviors of the people living here will be not affected by the fact that there is a dump site just next to the camp, actually in the middle of the camp. I'm just guessing, maybe this is not a dump site because I have no precise information simply by looking, but it looked kind of weird to me. There is a kind of hole here, so I have to clearly investigate it, what this place is here. Okay, as you can see, we are kind of learning more information about the site. Probably we can get a better idea by looking at satellite imagery than when we go there directly. Are you getting the point? Okay, if there is any question, please stop me. Okay. And this is, now we are going into kind of more technical part, I will say. The way we combine different software, which one is for terrain analysis and the other one is kind of terrain territory understanding. Let's start with the first one. Okay, in this case, I create, just close it, this one, because we will do it from scratch. Just let me save this file. So you have to be patient because my computer is pretty slow. So, okay. Okay, now I can close it. So Google Earth is a very basic one. So I go to launch my global mapper software. Technician will need a software like global mapper. But you, for example, Yassine, that you are more interested in aspect related to camp management, you might be using another software which is called Quantum GIS, and later we will have a look at it. So I launch my global mapper software. Just give it to the computer a little bit of time. So meanwhile, if you don't mind, I close Google Earth. Sorry, you have to be patient, guys. I'm sorry. Why it's not opening? Okay, here we go. Now we have it. So this is Global Mapper, which is super easy as well, kind of interface. I go to open. First of all, it's important to look for the projection. So I have to go to tools. This is kind of very technical stuff. Mahmoud, you will have specific tutorials on this.
Yeah, I watched them today morning.
Okay, that's perfect. In order to be able to communicate between the software AutoCAD, Global Mapper, and Quantum GIS, all of them have to be on the same page in terms of planet projection. This is topographical stuff. So you have to select UTM, and specifically for that part of Idlib, you have to go to North Hemisphere. Yeah, this one. 37, which is 36 degrees east, 42 degrees. And you say, now you can open your data. We go to Dropbox, we go to public, we go to site planning training, site planning simulation, and I have again here my emergency settlement file. I open it and I have it here. Why this software is important? First of all, I can have by clicking on the top left, you see the icon of the planet. Just a reference, if I go, for example, War Imaginary, and I say connect. If everything has been done correctly, yes, it is. I have to drag the emergency settlement below so I can have a look and see that I have the Word Imaginary with my settlement over here. Okay. And this is important, so you are sure that you are precisely where you are supposed to be. I deselect the word imaginary for now, and for you, Mahmoud, might be very important. First of all, you go back here, you select one of these two, Aster GDM or SRT. They're basically the same. They have some differences, but we can deepen later. And
there are two options: one 3-arc and one arc. Right, for SRM,
yeah,
RTM.
Yeah, precisely. Which is very much linked with the resolution of the data that you can get. Okay, I suggest you to draw a box all around the settlement. Oops, which is more than enough, and say connect. And as a magic, just give you a little bit of time. You see that the computer is still downloading the data from the web. And again, I drag my emergency settlement below so I can see it. And this gives you the 3D of the terrain. Okay. And after having gotten this one, by simply clicking on tools, analysis, and generate contours, and here you select, I want a gap between the contours of no higher than 1 meter, and I select 1 meter. And maybe I can select the boundary as well, just to avoid unnecessary contour lines. And I say, yalla, you're gonna have the contour lines already of your settlements over here. And then, as you can notice, you have, for example, this is for you, Mahmoud, is very important. Those are the highest peak. Those are the lowest point, the blue colored one. So this might be giving you an indication where it's the most ideal place, for example, for the construction of the water reservoir. So you might decide to put it here, even if it's outside the edge, because the community might be willing to accept it. So then back, you speak with your colleagues, with your field officer, and you say, guys, for me, this is the best place to place a water reservoir, because I can provide water to all the settlement much easier, in a much cost-effective way. Can you speak with the local authorities over here, with the people, say, can we build it? Maybe we can put this new water reservoir, not just for the benefit of the camp, but also for the surrounding houses. So it's a way to please, to find acceptance, to build acceptance among the hosting community. So as you can imagine over here, you have already quite a lot of information. I will stay for this kind of information for now, but you can get other type of information like the watershed, the water streams, the most likely scenario in case of flooding, all this kind of information. The best position where to place a road according to the contour lines. But then by doing so, I have created a series of files here that I can communicate with another software, which is kind of important, which is Quantum GIS. I have it here. So this is from the previous session.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can see, this software is very nice even for non-technical stuff. Okay, the reason why I removed for one moment this software. Okay, all of this indication. So basically, if you want to import from Global Mapper, for example, the shape of your field, of your settlement, you go to emergency settlement. It's better to deselect the other. You have just this one. You click on it, then you go to File, you go to Export Vector, then you create a shape file, which is here, and say, go for it. Export as an area. I go to the Quantum GIS folder, and then you see I already named it. It's here, Emergency Settlement 22. So let's assume that I name it and then I save it. I say annul now because I have already in the other side. Okay. So when I open in my Quantum GIS, it's just a matter to go here and fetch the file of the shape file, Emergency Settlement 22. Open it, and I have it. In this case, I have two because, but they are on top of each other. I mean, Quantum GIS is very useful. Why? Because you can get and use many different kind of maps already available in internet. You might have all the Google Maps here. You might search for Bing Maps. Okay, and you're gonna get Bing Aerial, Bing Map, Bing Satellite. There is another one which is from Open Street Map, which is a humanitarian. It's called really humanitarian map. Just a second. This one. Okay, it's a very interesting kind of mapping. You have all the names in Arabic, and sometimes they are capable to tell you whether there are conflict zones all around, if there are other settlements. It can provide a certain degree of information, not necessarily. It depends what you're looking for. Okay. Why also this is important? Because, for example, I can deselect this one and go for Google Roads. And as such, I can have an indication about how my new settlement can be connected to the network of roads towards the other city. I can get a very good insight over here. For example, if by any chance I use Which one? Just to give an insight, I can use Google Bing Maps. No, the Bing Maps in this case is not Google Satellite, and I have the photo from Google Satellite. If I add Google Roads, for example, I have a double layer. And when I go closer, I can even get where shops are, where the school are. I just, you see here, you should be able to read those stuff.
This map installed automatically to QGIS, or we have to install them?
Okay, QGIS, it's already here. You have a series of plugins over here. You have to recall a plugins which is called Quick Map Service. And as soon you have installed it, but I can follow with that. Then you have a column over here where you can fetch all the maps that you might need. This is a kind of interesting because what I can see, I can see where the shops are. I might be able to see where the schools are. I might be able to see where the hospital are. And this gives you, let's see, there should be another, let's stay with Google for a moment. Okay, Google Roads, Google Maps. Okay, this is the typical Google Maps that we see when we go to internet. Okay, I see, I have no idea what is this one. It's something related to industry.
Yes, industrial.
Okay.
Industrial.
Here it is telling me that there is a factory of cars.
Yes, cars.
Okay. Okay. This is the post office.
No, it's academy for like training center.
Okay, this is a pharmacy. Yeah. So this is very important because you can get an idea, and this is for camp management is fundamental, what you have around. So you can use this tool, for example, over here, which is measure, and you might have an idea how far is your camp from the nearby hospital. So if the hospital is here, you can click here, you can continue, you can create your path. You say, if the people over here want to go to the hospital, they have to walk for 7 kilometers. So this is to say that the kind of information that you can grasp from this kind of software are very, 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 very important. Okay, if for example, I choose to use, no, not big maps, Google Satellite, like this one, I have kind of creation information with the shape of my settlements over here, which is, I know that how I can connect my settlement with the surrounding. Then there is a practical utilities like this one that you can change. You can say, I don't want anything inside. I want, I don't know, a red line outside. I'll apply, and I have the shape over here. So I can still see what I have on the ground. For example, this software is very useful for preparing different kind of maps. How? I go here, which is a print manager, and I can create a new one. I can call it test X2. As you can see, now I have an element over here. If I, sorry, I have to move this one. I know that, for example, this is an A4, you see here, and then I can start import, add map over here. Just it takes time to generate a photo, but you can see I immediately have an overview of the settlement with the surroundings. So by clicking on it over here, I can modify the scale. For example, in this case, I'm going very far. Look where it is. But I can see where it is compared with Aleppo, with other cities. Okay, maybe I don't need it that far. So I change the scale again and I go closer. Then I can shift my image over here, and I can create a thematic map. I can add easily the scale. It's just a matter of 2 seconds over here. I can add a legenda. Okay. I can modify this legenda. For example, if I click over here, I can modify the legenda, for example, removing one item. Okay. I can create flow chart on top of that. So for example, if you have to prepare a presentation and you have to show your settlement, this is definitely a very important tool. Okay.
Actually, it's great. Previously, when I wanted to do the submission file for shelter rehabilitation, I was looking for something to present where is the community. It was so complicated in Google Earth.
Yeah, it's very complicated. But here, it's super simple. For example, if I go here to the main page, I can, for example, Google Satellite. I can double click on it, increase the transparency, apply. I still have it on the background. So I go back to my test, I refresh. Maybe that's not the most appropriate scale to see. I just change the scale. So I changed the scale over here. As I can see, the scale over here immediately self-updated itself, so I don't have to lose too much time. For example, perhaps I want to show my settlement in regard to this existing village, so I can simply click on here and drag and put it here, so I can see the village. I can shift the legenda over here. So when I do my presentation, I can say, guys, this is the area that we have selected. But as you can see, there is a very close village over here, which is actually fairly big. And then we can rely possibly with the support of the local authority on the existing infrastructures. For example, over here, I see an hospital. H stands for hospital to me. Let's go to verify whether this, no, maybe I should be going to remove this one. No, it's a mosque.
Mosque, yeah.
No, it's a mosque. No, never mind.
Oh, there was also a hospital. No, it is not in the map. No.
There was the logo of a hospital.
In the east, there are a warehouse for medicine to the east.
Yep, maybe it was a store. Now here, I have a hospital.
Yeah, this is a hospital.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so if I go back here, so having such an infrastructure like an hospital here, which is fairly close to our settlement, perhaps the IDPs can fairly easily walk from these settlements up to here. So you can imagine that the level of understanding that you can grasp from this kind of software, it's very useful. It's very useful of your job, because in this case, it means that when you design your camp, it's no more like an island in the middle of the ocean, completely isolated from the context. You work with the context. For example, for a site planner, might be a point, I don't know, to have some sort of infrastructure over here simply because they are closer to the existing village. Or maybe other kind of, you might need to have a workshop over here, and then you will make it on this side of the settlement, for example here, because it's closer to this cave where you might collect construction material as a cheaper place because it's very close. So this help you to think, to imagine solutions and way of making these settlements dealing with existing. Okay, if we don't do this exercise, we design site plan, we design new settlements as they were completely detached by the context. But I think that I'm able to give you an insight on the possibility to use of this software. Super guys, anything, any thought, anything to say about this?
How can we access this tool from the GIS? Is it part of the GIS, QGIS?
Yes, all these tools are native in Quantum GIS. Particularly Quantum GIS is very useful for non-technical stuff, because with Quantum GIS you cannot that easily make a flood simulation analysis, watershed analysis, all this kind of analysis, but definitely you can build up the social component of a settlement, which is important, okay, which is extremely important. Okay.
So this is a printing tool, it's called this?
Yeah,
page.
It's a printing tool. When you will have on the main interface over here, this is the working environment. You see this icon over here, which is like a page with a tool in front. From this, you can manage any printing option. But it's kind of nice. I mean, even talking about simple stuff like this one, if you go to this object, you can decide to frame it. You can decide to put, I don't know, a blue frame. You can decide to enlarge the frame. Okay, you see the possibilities over here are kind of, you see, if you want to make a presentation, but those are not the only data that you can get from this one. It's a really, it's kind of something, this software, but you can learn step by step. And also don't forget that particularly for Quantum GIS, there is an online community that already answer most of the questions that you will find. Okay, for example, just to quote an example, if I go to internet and I click, for example, I don't know, creating a shape with Quantum GIS. Okay, you see, you will find plenty of tutorials and information and blogs and everything where you can, I'm just trying to click on the first one, and probably you will find plenty of indication how to use the software, which in a way which is far better than what we could do. So the online community is very active, and Quantum GIS is for free. You can, it's a for free software. It's an open source software. So it's based on free contribution, so you don't have to crack anything. But now we have...
What about the Global Mapper? Is it also free?
No, unfortunately, Global Mapper is not free. So it's you can download the version from the website, from the official page. You can have a trial version for 1 month, and then you can decide whether to buy it or not.
You can
But we
crack one, as I did today morning.
okay. Okay. So basically, let's go back to Global Mapper just a second over here. Those are the generated contour lines. And as you can see, for example, for you as a designer, what I could do, I select both the layers, and then I go File, Export, Export Vector, and then I say Export to DXF. I say OK. I say OK. Include display labels and on separate text layer, which is perfect. Then I say OK again. I am here site planning simulation CAD. We will call it group 2 exercise, and you save it. Halas, done. Site planning simulation. No, it's not this one. Where are we? Documents. Site planning training simulation. I go to CAD. Group 2 exercise. And then I zoom extend. Oh, sorry. Zoom extension, and I have it. So I have already the design here on my AutoCAD, so that I can start immediately design the new settlement. And I have quite a good indication over here because I have the border, I have the contour lines. For you that they are used to use contour lines, all of them have the same color. You can change the color, of course. For example, like, no, maybe not. This one, okay. This is major contour lines. We will do it a little bit darker. Labels, we can leave it fine. The unknown area is our settlement. Let's make it red. You see here, maximum elevation points. You might put it in kind of blue. Global maximum elevation location, we can change it. We can put it green. This one we can put it maximum elevation location, we can put yellow. Okay, that's it. Then it's better you select all and you tell him to use the color layer. And as you can see, you have the contour lines, and then you have to modify probably the point selection, which is P-type. Yes, P-type. You go for it. You say, let's have it 20. It should be enough. No, it's too much. 5. And here you have all your points. Those are the peaks for you that you have to place the water reservoir at the peaks. Okay, those are intermediate. Then you have other points which are the lowest part of the settlement according to the data that you have fetched from internet. And actually, right now, you can start creating a new layer, and you will call it, for example, we call it health post. Okay, this is the health post that we have to design. In terms of site planning over here, I make it the current layer. And for example, my health post is gonna be from this corner to here. Now the dimension not important, to here, and close it. Now this file, I can save it, save as group 2 exercise 2DWG, and I can proceed with the designing of my settlement. As you can see, it's easy. I can get a lot of information. If you recall, if I allow me to go back 1 second to, do you remember the other day? I want to show you something which is, here we go. This is, I'm matching, those in red are the contour lines which I have generated for the same place using the system which I just showed to you. So like a global mapper. I go closer, sorry. So the red one are the one generated by the computer and the software. The gray one are those made by the surveyor that went to the field to make the survey. Okay. The point is this, as you can see, they match quite okay. So this is definitely a very important indication, but this is also telling me that the surveyor that did this survey in this part of, on this land over here, took too few points. The survey that he did is not detailed enough, because there are some elements on the ground that, of course, you cannot get from the satellite. So that's, if you do a survey, a topographical survey with a total station, you have to do it properly. You get my point, Mahoud?
Yeah. But I just wanted to ask you for, as a practical, for when we need to extend point camp, shall we make actual survey in the ground, or the global mapper is quite enough? Or the compromise?
No, well, it depends. Okay, I make you another sample. I just want to make you another sample. For example, do you remember that the other days I was telling you about this experience of this settlement over here, which has been designed, is one of the biggest settlements in Ethiopia. I mean, this settlement has been designed without total station. Forget about using it. But as you can see the scale, those are 2 kilometers in the middle of the forest. So if I would have used a total station, it would have taken months to finish all the survey. You get my point. So you have to start working by relying on the data that you can fetch, that you can get from internet. Of course, all these elements over here, which are rocks and stone, which is not usable, because you have to find places where to place your community. If I go closer, you see that you have the community with the family plot over here. And here you can see all the places which were, do you see here over this one? Those are the natural streams which have been mapped using KMZ file. I made this lesson. Do you remember this lesson the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's through KMZ that I managed to map all these points over here. Otherwise, how can you do that with the total station? It's impossible. By simply walking into an area, you can get a lot of information if you can have a GPS system. Okay, and this is the only option. Definitely, it's the only option. My understanding that the IDP camps for the emergency in Idlib are pretty small. And
could you please again?
My understanding is that for the emergency settlement for the Idlib operation, for the situation over there, there are many camps, but they are pretty small.
Yes.
And so this enables you, if you can, to use a total station. Okay.
Yeah, this is the question about the accuracy of the global mapper, so we can save resources and save time if it's accurate enough.
Okay, in one hand, I have to respond yes, because you don't have to pay the surveyor, and you can do it in 10 minutes. You have the contour lines. But what you cannot get, if I go back, for example, over here to Quantum GIS and to my field, you cannot avoid going to the field and to cross-check. So, for example,
yes, sure, the field team can do that. Yes.
Okay,
sure.
Because the point over here, I see this one. This is a path. It looks like a path to me. So I will take in consideration when I will do in my site planning, because I will save this part. I will not construct on top of it. There is no point. There is a path that might have a meaning, so it might be interesting to keep it. Maybe it's going to be a pedestrian path. Probably I have to readjust a little bit here the border, because my colleague made a mistake, stepped into a cultivation field. So probably we have to realign this one, avoiding this part over here. For example, if by any chance I have to make a child-friendly space, maybe I could do here because it's next to a cultivation field with fruit trees, which might be nice to see for them to make a more pleasant space. I will keep it far from this place, which might look like a dump site. If I have a workshop for my site planning, of course, I will put my workshop over here on this side because it's close to the main road and is also is the closest point to the cave, where maybe I can collect some of the material, process it here, and then use it for the construction of the site of the plan of the settlement. And I'm just kind of guessing, you know, it depends the situation. It really depends on the situation that you have to face and the level of understanding. Okay, guys, I think we have been speaking for quite a lot now. I suggest we take a pause, we take a break for 5 to 10 minutes. Is that okay for you guys? Shall we go for 10 minutes this time?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Meanwhile, you can think whether you have any questions. We were supposed to go back to the main session together with the other one. My probably is not happening, so we will arrange it on our own. So let's stay online. I will simply put back the microphone for 10 minutes. Then I will come back. I will drink a coffee and so on. And I just put in pause. How can I put in pause the pause? What? Pause sharing. No, I will stop sharing for now because I will put on pause. Okay. And then I share again my screen. And now we are back on Quantum GIS. Are you all on board, guys?
Yeah.
Mohammed, Yassine. Okay. If you want, I presume that you can turn on the camera if you have it. So just to give you some additional hint about Quantum GIS, you have either two options. The first one, whether to import existing shapefile, which you have created using Global Mapper. The second option is to create a new layer. When you create a new layer, I'm sorry again because this is the interface is in Italian. You have three options. You can create a point, a dot. You can create a line, or you can create a polygon. Let's try with the dot. So, and I click yes, and then it's important to group all the shapefiles on the same folder. Here we are in Quantum GIS folder. For example, I put water points. And then I have created, you see it here, my layer water points. Basically, can be anything. Could be, I don't know, existing wells, existing anything you might need for the design or for to explain to somebody else, also in regard to the authority, what you are doing. Okay. If I double click on water points, since this is a point, as you can see, I have already installed here a series of pre-existing icons. For example, I have the shape of an airport, I have an arrow, I have a capital, a circle, but I can go even further. For example, here, and I have another list of water points. So somewhere here, there should be able, okay, this is simple layer, simple simple symbol, while here you see what I have. I have the kind of shelter, I have different options. I can also import different kind of styles over here. I'm just picking, let's see what we have, if we have something more pertinent to water. Maybe this one. Now this is more to characters. Maybe we can try another one. No, because this you can create from scratch. Well, let's stick it one of these for the moment. Anyone? Let's see, accommodation. We have amenity. Well, for example, we have a water toilet over here. Okay, apply, and then I have to put it, for example, here, and I have it. Then I can decide, for example, by double clicking over here, the dimension, I can make it far bigger for the sake of visualization. You see here the sign, I can, just for the sake of the clarity, I'm making very big. So maybe I have a wash facility over here. I have a water points. I add another water points, perhaps maybe here, and maybe because of the we decide to work in synergy with the community, and we're gonna have many people going, for example, to this hospital, and they might need a water point over here. You get my point? Then I go back to my map and I say refresh. And as you can see, I have already immediately in my map over here. And then I go here. Oh my goodness, they should break in 5 minutes, whatever. So I update immediately my legenda, and you see here I have water points with my selected logo. Okay, this is to say that this is enable you to represent the territory where you're working in a very efficient manner. For example, if you want to make a research with the position of all the health facility, so this might be helpful, the school facility. And then you might decide that since people maybe will move from here, they will start going to this way. So you might create your infrastructure here, which is connected to this road. So the people will have the main access to the village from here rather than from here, because here there are many heavy trucks going to collect the sand here. So it's not a safe place to walk. And then you insist with the authorities, better to have a connection over here. You know, I'm just guessing, guys. I'm just giving you an insight on the opportunity that anyone can understand by looking at these maps, by identifying your needs and the resources. You can map, as I said, the water points. You can map anything you might need. How does that sound? Do you think you like it?
Yes, yes. I see that our colleagues has left. There is only me and you.
What's happening here?
Like 45 minutes. Mr. Giorgio is here.
I think Andrea, you were supposed to finish about 5 to the hour, about 55 minutes past.
Oh, okay. I believe we are. Okay, fine. Sorry. So we.
I don't know unless you need how much. You and Giorgio decide how much more time you need.
No, for me, I think I went through what I wanted to say. I don't know, Giorgio.
You are on mute.
Okay, guys. It was I managed to give them a kind of overview starting from the KMZ file. Then we start to interact with the global mapper and quantum GIS, and we have seen how I can export the shape of my land, the contour lines. we didn't look at the more water and sanitation issue like watershed and streams as usual, because my guys, my team was composed by non-technical staff, a part of Mohammed, who is a mechanical engineer, and actually he's in charge for water and sanitation. But as I said, we will go back again to the use of the software. Andrea, I strongly suggest when you will do your wash lesson, we will take our time to again to repractice all together this aspect, more technical for anything might be useful for the water and sanitation part, like water sheds, water streams, and flow simulation analysis. So we will go back for that.
Okay.
So I think we can be kind of easily okay on what we have done. So I personally believe that we don't need specifically to go back to our single room. And but you guys just let me know, because we didn't have the chance to involve you in this very last minutes because we were removed from our room. So if you have any questions about the use of Quantum GIS and Global Mapper, just shoot. Just tell me.
No, I think it's all okay, all clear.
Okay, but for example, okay. Muhammad, Yassin, just I have a precise question, because even it's an indication. But you think of this kind of approach, this kind of tool, without going into too technical aspect, might be useful for your job as a manager?
Yes, of course. And we learned a lot of things, like how to identify the surrounding and know the contour lines, and also from the last session, the water roads, and everything. It's useful, and how to use the Geo app to identify the location on using Google Earth at first. Yeah, and everything. It's very useful and great to know the surrounding hospitals, everything.
Okay, because let's consider that if you represent clearly the situation on the ground, you have a better idea. And as such, you can take better decisions. I'm strongly convinced in that, because you can really put on paper, you can really map the information that you need, either be technical or less technical or non-technical. So this can give you, can provide an information mapping very useful during the decision-making process. Okay. Andrea, do you have anything to add?
No, just my team, we managed to, like you did, from Google Earth, we went to Global Mapper and then to GIS, Quantum GIS, to see the environment, the villages around, referring hospital, referring school, main existing road. Then we did terrain analysis, the watershed, the natural stream, the ridges, and based on that, we could identify the spots where to put our facilities, our communities, and I think the message went through, but I would like to hear a confirmation from my team. What do they think about this process, or any suggestion? I don't know to whom. Let me see who is there. Who was drawing? Rawan, you were drawing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it was quite useful. Thank you for the session. And we worked on AutoCAD and like doing a planning for a site. So yeah, it was useful taking the information from GIS or QGIS to AutoCAD.
Fine. And of course, what now we have to be clear before we start to do any type of detailed drawing about the size of our shelters, about the size of our community. But I am pretty sure, Giorgio, you are going to speak about community size and all this stuff, right?
Yes, I will, particularly the next week. That is going to be more focused on the designing aspect. But again, we can come back of any specific issue, particularly on those here on the software, in a way that they can support your job. If you recall, we propose an exercise, the designing of an emergency settlement. This exercise is still on. I mean, if you would like, if you have the time to do that, I suggest you start from the KMZ file that we have used for this exercise today. You will find it in the Dropbox folder, and you must start from it. Start to familiarize with the two software, and particularly you will find 3 videos which can help you to move around. Don't forget there is a coaching time, which is even this afternoon after 1 hour at the end of this session. And again, don't forget to place your comments in Padlet in the session 3. You will find the tab participant contribution. If you have any question, please post it here. If you look right now in the Padlet session 3 participant contribution, you will see there is a post from Khalil. He was asking how to attach imaging into AutoCAD, and I have responded to the questions. So you can do the same. You can learn from this question and this answer and add more if you like. Okay.
So the assignment will be, all of us will work on the same KMZ file? Or on different locations?
Yes, but actually, for since we have 11 trainees, they have no technical background, they have a humanistic background. For them, there is going to be a specific task which will be put on Padlet probably tomorrow, but surely by the beginning of the next week, because something which is more precise, more interesting for you, and you can work at it. You can still use the software if you like for a proper mapping. That's not a problem. We might start from the KMZ file that we have put here, but precisely the text for the exercise, it will be put online in one of the coming days. Okay?
And again, I remind you, if you have trouble in finding the software, just ask me on the private email. I will show you a way to get the software.
Okay.
It's all from my side, Giorgio. I don't know. We can stop even before. Up to you.
Okay. No, I'm okay as well. Sorry, my voice. I'm asking. My voice is disappearing. For me, it's okay as well. Unless, sorry guys, unless there are questions from your sides. If you have anything to share specifically for today's session, you are welcome.
I just wanted to ask for our group, are we going to go back to terral analysis and the contour and the watershed issues or not?
Yes, for sure. I mean, please consider that, yeah, we will send the registrations, definitely, but you're going to have a look on the reading materials and the tutorials that we have put. If you look into, if you go to the main page of Padlet, you will say preparation materials readings. By clicking on it, you will go, you will be directed to a Dropbox page. Someone was asking me for how long this material is going to be available online. Is for sure for a few weeks after the completion of this training. But whatever you might find it useful, just download it on your computer. You have a folder which is called tutorials, and here you can find the tutorials that have been prepared for you, and also already a couple of videos, and of course all the links for YouTube, particularly for those who are very much interested in water simulation analysis. You will find plenty of tutorials, and we will be for you here during the coaching time available to respond to specific questions. Okay.